Lisa Dixon walked through a dark period of grief after losing her brother. She also recently lost her young granddaughter. Out of her pain, she wrote the book called A Brother's Love, and is now helping others walk through loss. Welcome, Lisa Dixon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Now, your book, it's an easy read. It's very short, but it has a lot in it.
Yes, sir.
For those who are not familiar with your story, especially of your brother, tell us a bit about what happened with him.
Well, my brother had kidney failure. He never had one day of being sick, and one day at work he got sick, and when they took him to the emergency room, he was told that his kidneys was failing, and within, I would say, less than 24 hours, he was on dialysis. Andre went through dialysis for about 2 years. Within those 2 years, he was in a coma. He went through a lot of medical treatments. So we had seen him very sick, but at the time, the day before he passed, he was so well. He was talking about things we've done as children and just a joyful moment. And then within the next 24 hours, the Lord had called him home. I remember just being stung because my brother was my best friend, my encourager, and I had to now learn how to deal without him, with everyday communication, with just his presence.
But let me ask though, because after him, generally people say that, oh, if you've lost someone, it helps you to deal with the loss of another person. It's not so hard if it happens again. But you lose your grandchild,
yes,
and it's just as
painful. Impactful. Yes, sir.
So how did the first experience, did it prepare you for the second? Did God work in that? Or?
I would say my first experience of losing my brother, the Lord not only prepared me, but he walked along with me, showing me that I can still have joy in the midst of my pain, and that I could grow through walking along with him and seeking his presence, because really that healing comes from, to me, it comes from being in the Word, staying in his presence and worshiping him. When my granddaughter recently passed, it was just like day one of me losing my brother, because when you have a compound grief, every experience is different. But I've learned that we have to seek God, because when we lose someone, there is nothing in our individual beings that can heal us, only the grace of God, because I was becoming a tool for my son to show him that God is the God of all comfort. I could love on you, I could hug you, but the only one that's going to help you heal through this process is God.
So many people go through grief but just can't get past the question of, God, why? Which is a legitimate question, even though a lot of the time we jump on them and say, don't ask God why. What do they do with that question? How do they get past that hurdle?
I would say, because I asked that question many days, I was angry at God. I think we have to be true to our own emotions and feelings through the process of grief. It's okay to ask God why. It's okay to even be mad with God. But you still have to stay in his presence, because God is sovereign. And I just remember that with me going through a grief group, being able to share my pain and my experience with others helped me start to heal through my grief, that I can now do grief groups and let others tell their stories, scream, release any kind of pain, and rather than suppressing it, releasing it and allowing them to know that God will start to show you just how he can comfort you, just how he can heal you. And what I have learned through each grief experience is that God showed me something. I learned something in every experience. I learned how he wanted me to be a healer for others, to walk along as an instrument, not as him, but as an instrument to be used by him to show others that I am just as vulnerable as you with my pain. But if we talk together, if we share together our pain, we can find healing with with each other's communication and each other's pain of sharing.
So you capture your story and also some of your experiences and really some of the helpful things in your book, A Brother's Love. As you've worked with other people and helped other people, counseled them, what's been the most powerful thing that you feel has come out of this experience for you?
I think the powerful thing is to see people start to seek the Lord and find their own healing, to allow them to, we do a thing in those group sessions which is called painting your pain. And that way they will pick colors, dark colors to depict their most painful moment through that grief, and light colors to depict where they want to be. But then in the middle they will paint their new normal, which is mixture of their dark colors and their light colors. Because in our new normal process of healing, we're going to have good days and bad days. And to watch people paint out to just draw and paint out their pain, you can see the Lord showing them where they were and where they can be in their new normal. So that has healed me, to watch people actually process their own emotions, their own pain, and their own healing.
Wow. So through painting, I can work through the emotions and work through it with others in a group and find some sort of resolution.
Because sometimes you can't speak it. Sometimes your pain is so deep that you can't express it. But if you're given the opportunity to paint the colors that depict your pain, you're able to display how you're feeling.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and look forward to more people discovering this book, A Brother's Love. Thank you.
Thank you.